Single most important thing we can do to eliminate racial bias in the criminal justice system today is to end the war on drugs. The drug war is responsible for the arrest, incarceration, and branding of millions of people of color as felons, relegating them to a permanent second-class status for life. Drug use, abuse, as well as drug dealing is just as prevalent in white communities as it is in poor communities of color. But the drug war has been waged almost exclusively in ghetto communities, resulting in what I believe is a racial undercast, an enormous population of black and brown folks who are poor, who've been labeled felons for engaging in precisely the same kind of behavior, illegal drug activity, that goes ignored in middle-class white communities.
Oh, welcome. Thank you. My name is Michael Johnson with Take 3 Outreach Services, and today is February 8th, and we're coming to you live through Ghetto Rise Media, and I thank the brothers with Ghetto Rise Media for this opportunity to come before you guys and speak. I thank the production crew that is with Ghetto Rise Media, and I thank God almost that we are able to connect with you guys on the subject that we have today, is talking about the justice system and how racial biases go along in the justice system when it comes to the poor and black community. How once we're in the system, how a lot of times that brothers are signing up for Measure 11 because they're ignorant of the law and what they're really facing when it comes to their charges and their crimes, and not really understanding and allowing the public pretender to, public defender represent them and talk them into signing up for 7 years or more because they really don't want to do their job. We're going to talk about many different issues coming about the justice system. And I have a guest today. His name is Marshall Richmond. He's a longtime community member, Portland raised, good friend, family member. Happened to get involved in the justice system and done quite a bit of time in the justice system. And today we have opportunity to interview him because he is not in the justice system anymore, but out here in the community. But yet he still has to deal with the justice system with issues that are ongoing and currently things that he experienced in the justice system. So he's going to share with us, and we're going to ask him questions of what he's done then and what he's doing now. And so to my left is Marshall Richmond. Welcome, my brother.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well with you here today and being on this show. And as I told the people who you are, I want you to elaborate a little bit more about who you are and your background, how old you are, where you grew up at in Portland, and so forth.
Okay, well, I'm 47 years old, Marshall Richmond, born and raised in Portland, Oregon, and, just been in the streets basically all my life. You know what I'm saying? Hustling, doing this, doing that, just trying to make an easy dollar. So I'm just like, I went to the penitentiary at the age of 20, did 10 years, got out, and then I started selling drugs because I always wanted to be in the fast life, right? So 2003.
What year was you selling drugs? What era was that?
From 94 to 2003.
So that was the crack era.
Yeah.
So that's when the crack hit the scene in Portland, Oregon, and just running rapid. Everybody pretty much had it.
Well, not everybody. It's certain few.
Few.
Everybody act like they wanted to do it, but it's a hand pick. It goes here or there about who does and who gets this and all that, because it's levels that everybody be on. You got the street, you got the person that delivers, you got the person that delivers to the medium. Well, they call me a mid-level drug dealer, meaning that I got it from the big man and distributed to the little people.
Oh, okay. Now this was in '94.
Yeah.
Or
this is in what I call my case in '93.
Okay.
I mean 2003.
2003. Okay, because there's the era. The reason I kind of talked about that because there was an era that time when it did come in Oregon, and brothers was doing many different things in '94, because this is 2013. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, there's some years and went by.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
And you know, if you got in it at '94, and then you evolved as the years went on, right along with the community involved. And so, and I just say that because, you know, we want the audience to understand that you got involved, and you're not highlighting about the you selling drugs and all that. We're not highlighting, but we're being very informative to let you know, look, this is reality.
Yeah, this is what's going on.
This is what's going on. This is what I was involved with.
Yeah.
So, you know, pick up at that '94, you got involved
involved and sold drugs till 2003. Got a federal case. Went to they gave me 15 years in the federal system. And the crack law changed. Well, the Sentencing Commission gave us a 2-level reduction. I got the 2-level reduction. I went from 15 to 13. Then when when Congress changed the actual statute of the drug era, that dropped me down to 10 years. And at that time, I was one of the ones that's immediate releases, so they call it. And I put my own motion in. I never had an attorney, filed no motion. I did everything myself. I filed my motion July 28th, 2010.
So this is federal, though?
This is federal.
This is federal, okay.
And, you know, I did everything myself, but my whole thing about when Congress changes a law, I mean, they eliminated all the charges that I was convicted of. Meaning that the 5 grams or more, it's no longer in the books under that provision. And what I'm trying to do right now is wake up everybody that was convicted of them old crimes to put a motion in to indicate that your crime is not a crime under that provision, and the courts must vacate them prior convictions and have you in jail under something valid.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm following you and I'm understanding this. So what year was this? They changed the law?
They changed the law in 2010.
So they changed the law in 2010. So in 2010, if you were convicted under certain crimes, and what's that?
5 grams or more.
5 grams or more.
They changed it to 28 grams.
And so they changed it to 28 grams. So if I'm still sitting in prison, and I went to prison because of 5 grams or more,
you're supposed to have that conviction must be vacated. And then they have to give you something that's valid, because now that when Congress changed it, it made it invalid.
Right, so all I have to do is file a motion.
Well, you allegedly supposed to file a motion and not allow the courts or attorneys to let you know that it's just a sentencing issue, and it's not just a sentencing issue, it's a statute.
Okay.
See, if it was just a sentencing issue, the Sentencing Commission would have just took total control over the situation,
right,
and then everybody would have just followed what the Sentencing Commission did.
Right.
But Congress took it upon themselves to change the statute.
Right.
Once they change the statute, the Supreme Court sets a standard. And the standard is that once a person has been convicted of a criminal act that becomes no longer criminal under that provision, then that conviction must be vacated. So, but the court system and everybody else is under the pretenses that it's a sentencing issue and you can only get a reduction.
Right.
But I asked the judge myself, June 6th of last year, I said, if you gave me a reduction, right, under what provision? Because 5 grams or more no longer exists. If you open up the criminal code book, your crime is not in there no more. So if you was convicted of 5 grams or more, 50 grams or more, or 4.5 kilograms of cocaine base, then all of them has been changed. So you sitting in jail under something that Congress took away.
Right, right.
So it's really real simple, but they'll make it seem like it's complicated because it's like,
who is they?
Well, the justice system.
Okay.
The justice system, the judges. It'll be through the judges, the prosecutors, because everybody will be against you getting them convictions off your record.
Uh-huh.
But how do you have a conviction on your record when Congress took it away?
Right. So which is not even a law anymore.
It's not even in the books.
Statute or
it's not nothing.
Sentence is not nothing. And so how many people you think are sitting in just Oregon alone that were when they were cracking down on folks of the legal activity and they got caught up and went there? How many people you think, just estimate you've been in the federal system and going through the system? Through just the
federal system?
Yeah, just the federal alone. It's in Oregon. Because
when they was talking about releasing all the people that was eligible for the release, they said it's like over 20,000 people.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So that could be 20,000 beds open up to people with serious crimes and allowing people, families, because I'm sure there's a lot of men.
Yes, it's women too.
Yeah, there's women too, but I'd say the majority
is men.
It's
black men.
Yeah, and on top of black men of color. And so, you know, when you take them out of the home, that causes a whole other problem
because
in the community.
If anybody's ever been in the feds, see, the feds is like this. The judge can sentence you to Sheridan, but if you get in trouble or you get in a fight, they can send you all across the United States. To it's called diesel therapy. You see what I'm saying?
Diesel therapy.
Diesel therapy.
Wow.
Meaning that you will be on a bus, traveling from state to state, because you were one of those bad persons, because they're not going to take you to ADX where the underground sales and all that kind of stuff is, unless you just that bad of a person. Wow. But if they wanted to just mess with you, they do diesel therapy, and it's a joke to them. I mean, they're wasting really taxpayers' money to send people that's from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast.
Right.
They got people from the West Coast going to the South, to the North, to the East, and it's to me it's crazy because you're taking everybody out of their region to where their family can't come see them.
Right.
Because you're gonna have to get on a plane.
Right.
So once you do all that, I'm just like, all them people that's in jail right now, if they would just look at your judgment and commitment, which is the paper that says what you've been convicted of, look at that, and then look at the criminal code book and see if your charge is in that criminal code book on the revised statute in the criminal code.
Right.
And it's not there.
It should add up. Yeah, absolutely. And that brings an interest perspective to things. I mean, being on the diesel and the taxpayer money is being spent that way when they can use it to really spend in the services that are needed to really help brothers that are locked up. I mean, that is not clearly I just want to point out how unequal and how biased that was alone in the shipping brothers out, because I've seen just an attitude. Their perspective of folks' attitude is not the same as Afro-Americans, and so they can interpret that as being disruptive, and use that as an excuse to put them on that diesel tour you talked about.
Diesel therapy.
Once
you get in the hole, you can go to the hole for the littlest thing, right?
Right.
I went for a fight. They shipped me to California. I went to the USP Victorville. I had 11 points. They boosted my points up for me to go to the USP. When they only should have just boosted my points. You're only supposed to get like 2 points for a fight.
Right.
But being that they didn't want you on the compound, or for whatever reason, they'll boost your points up and send you wherever they want to send you.
Right. And I've seen most families that have family members in the federal system, and it doesn't get heard a lot of these kind of treatments to the brothers that are in that system. But we see when we hear about them being taken away from their families and not really helping. And so, you know, we've discussed what's going on in the prison system, but we're going to go to a break. And then as we go to a break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how did you get here today out of the system, and what did you do? How did you do it? And what do you hope to accomplish in what you've done?
Okay.
And so we're going to go to break. And stay tuned. We got lots more to come. Once again, Ghetto Rise with Take 3 Outreach, and Marshall Richmond and myself, Michael Johnson. Stay tuned in. Thank you.
Yeah.
You, come here. We're going to direct you.
Change story first. Thank you.
Right there. That's after 30 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. Cornelius Dupree Jr. is finally a free man. His conviction on rape and murder charges was overturned today because DNA evidence proved he didn't do it. He is 51 now, trying to build a new life on the outside. Cornelius Dupree joins us now on the phone. Cornelius, it is so good to talk to you. You've actually been out for a few months now. What happened today was that technically you were exonerated. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so what have these last few months been like being free?
Well, it's been something new. It's I've been so accustomed to being, locked up and away from society and treated, very inhumane, I would say. It's such a thrill to finally get a taste of, the real world.
Wow. How much did today matter to you for the record to be set straight? This is the start. This is the start of a new life. This is the start of a life in which I should have never had taken away. And, and I'm just so thrilled. And for the most part, I'm just blessed to be alive and able to see this day. Cornelius, how did you get the Innocence Project to want to help you? Because prison is full of a lot of people who say they're innocent. How did you get them to believe you and to want to help you?
Well, I was just truthful about my story. It happened back in, I believe it was like 1998, right after the O.J. Simpson trial. They had made it affordable for inmates at that point, they made it affordable for inmates to prove their case if they was innocent. So I contacted Mr. Barry Shack there at the Innocent Project up in New York, and from that point they gave me hope, and I just continuously I just stayed with it, just continues to.